Welcome to another review on behalf of Aussie Gamers Express. I am Chaser. Today we'll be looking at Pokemon Go on the Android OS. Pokemon Go is an augmented reality game for mobile devices. It offers players the opportunity to meld their reality with the great world of Pokemon. The first and most important thing about this game is that it is free. So a free Pokemon game, can you believe that? But is this a good thing or a bad thing? Well, the release has been plagued with server issues and there are two avenues to blame so far. Number one, being that this is a free release, there is no backing for adequate server and upkeep. The monetary system relies on in-game purchasing for non-essential items. Number two, illegal region access has overloaded the servers. At first it was only supposed to be Australia, New Zealand and Japan was supposed to have been granted access, but that doesn't stop the online community. An APK was distributed and people from other regions got online, and this caused a huge demand on the servers, which was the initial reason for limiting the release to minor regions. Well, given the server issues represented by lack of income, I'd say this is a bad thing for now and future development. I'd happily pay $5 for this game, it's totally worth the time, and an ongoing development is required. Now, let's look at some gameplay. The game is awesome, to say the least. Even without a finished polish, the game offers so much in terms of gameplay. I found myself actively walking around town just to get spawns and Pokestops. I can't understand just how much extra walking I've been doing. So the game offers two states of gameplay, capturing Pokemon and battling at gyms. Battling is at first confusing, as it is in real time rather than turn-based. So you've got to tap for a basic attack, then tap hold to use a special attack once the meter is charged. You can also swipe directions to dodge. Something a lot of people are at odds with is the leveling system. Traditionally, you battle to get better, but in this version you collect Pokemon to get type candies and then use those to pay for more power on your Pokemon. So you're rewarded for collecting Pokemon in mass rather than battling. The first thing you're going to want to do is turn off the music and activate power savings. Not for the actual power savings, but so you can hear when you go near a spawn without having to constantly monitor your phone. Now let's talk about the gyms. The gyms is an awesome dynamic. There are 3 teams and they take over the gym. So if your team has a gym, you can store Pokemon there for other teams to face off against to take over the gym. You keep the gym safe and you're rewarded with in-game currency. Now, speaking of teams, let it be known that we will be going with the Red Army and we will destroy all the other teams. So join the Red Army for total Australian domination. Now, getting over the fact that I like Pokemon games, and this is a real treat, this new era that we're embarking upon. And don't get me wrong, it is a new era and the things that will follow this game will be a lot better. Now, taking that into account, what I would like to see is a free move on the map. Being able to look over the whole area with freedom of movement so I can plan my route for better spawns. If I had that, I wouldn't be driving as much. Yes, everyone has been told not to drive whilst playing this game, but honestly, the walking aspect really needs to be encouraged. Rarer or more often spawns offered for shorter distance travelled slowly, no different than the egg system. Today I clocked 5 kilometers walking in bushland and on roadways and on pathways, and I encountered 3 common Pokemon. That's 5 kilometers for 3 Pokemon. Whereas I have other friends who are in urban areas who are travelling 1 kilometer and they're getting 20 plus spawns. The footprint system needs some critiquing, especially for common spawns. There is no point in changing it from 3 to 2 to 1 in the space of 5 meters. I would prefer it to be a picture for region awareness, 3 for 50 meters, 2 for 20 meters, and 1 for 5 meters. Now, while we're looking at this critically, let's look at the abundance of green. If you like 3 shades of green, then this is the game for you. Okay, sure, it's a huge worldwide landscape, but the green everywhere makes it very hard to distinguish between areas. And seeing the flutter of the leaf to show a potential spawn site is terrible. And why make it so the leaves show for a moment then disappear? Why not just keep them so I know where to walk to? I'm just going to wait to see them appear again before I start walking. This is counterproductive. And before we go any further, let's have a look at the old Pokemon. You'll notice that when you're in a town, there's a gym. You can't really search the grass for Pokemon. You leave the town, all of a sudden you can walk in the grass. That's where the Pokemon spawns are. Now, you take this old mentality that we've had for decades and you bring it to the new game, and it is the complete reverse. If you're in town, you're going to get spawns, you're going to get Pokestops. If you're out in the scrub, or if you're a bit semi-rural or rural, you're not going to get anything. And this is what is so frustrating about this game, is it goes against what we've been brought up to believe. Now let's talk about Pokemon Go and driving. It says straight off the bat with a picture of Gyarados that you're supposed to take into account your surroundings. And it also does not advocate the driving whilst playing the game. However, I will admit that I have done this. Now, in saying that, I'm doing this because of the spawn rates in my area. I live in the Great Blue Mountains. It is mostly bush and scrub up here. Now, this is an area that really needs further development, and hopefully in further productions and further updates or further games, this issue gets addressed. This game is supposed to be about exploration of your surroundings and also catching some Pokemon along the way. I don't want to be exploring CBDs. In terms of further updates, we have been told that a trading system is on its way, as well as more interactions with the Pokestops and more options, and possibly even ownership of Pokestops. Now, getting beyond everything we've discussed here today, it is a fantastic game. It's free, and I would be happy to pay $50 for this masterpiece. But that would include all relevant updates from here on in. Pokemon Go. 7 out of 10, room for improvement.